Thank you very much for that warm applause for the Novello Orchestra. Quite the start to the show. Welcome, one and all, to this season's UEFA Europa League and UEFA Conference League draws, live from the Grimaldi Forum here in Monaco.
Yes, I feel like they've really set the standard for what's to come, haven't they? Absolutely fantastic stuff. Now, over the next hour, 72 teams across 2 different competitions will discover their footballing fate. And we are joined by representatives from the clubs who have qualified. Good luck to you all.
Last season's Europa League was exceptional. 512 goals scored across 189 games. 31 of those goals, of course, scored by the eventual winners of the competition.
Aston Villa beat SC Freiburg in the final in Istanbul, and here's a reminder of how Unai Emery masterminded his 5th Europa League title and Villa's first European trophy in 44 years.
Welcome to kick-off in the UEFA Europa League, the opening night of the league phase.
With a moment of individual brilliance. Tessman! Oh, cracking goal! That's quite a strike! Oh, amazing!
Caretzas, oh la la!
Here's Anthony. Oh, what a great strike! For Lopez, that's clever, that's brilliant!
It is the knockout phase playoffs. Could be trouble here, it's in.
Murillo hits that one and finds the corner. Great excitement. It's the round of 16. Suzuki! Here's the chance for Pellegrini! Watkins over the keeper and in! So the quarterfinals are upon us. That is a stunner! And blasted home by Abdi. And Jonathan Rowe!
Gibbs right drives, it's deflected, it's in.
Welcome to the rarefied air of the last 4.
Manzambi! And here's McGinn, it's number 3! And Villa can dream of Istanbul!
A city where empires have been built and continents collide. Tillerman! Aston Villa are in dreamland! Morgan Rogers! Aston Villa win the Europa League!
What a night it was for Aston Villa and their fans. Huge congratulations once again to them. And every team that has made it to today's league phase draw will, of course, hope to follow in their footsteps and win this competition. The final will be at the Waldstadion in Frankfurt on the 26th of May.
Now, before we can start this season's draw, we're going to need a little bit of help just to make sure that things run nice and smoothly. And we're very lucky to have a very special guest here to assist us.
He is a former Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund and Eintracht Frankfurt midfielder who captained the Adler to glory in the 2022 Europa League final. So please, a warm welcome to Sebastian Roda.
Well, Sebastian, firstly, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us here in the Principality. But you were a title winner with Bayern Munich. You were a cup winner at Borussia Dortmund, but you also lifted the Europa League title with Eintracht Frankfurt. That has to be up there as one of your favourite footballing memories, potentially. Tell me what you remember about that night.
To be honest, every time I look in the mirror, I reminded to my cut I get in the final. And I was really happy that we won this cup after this. And for sure, I think the most remarkable thing is the penalty of Rafa Borré. No one of the Eintracht fans will forget this moment.
Tell me about penalties, because it went to penalties for those that don't remember. You seem a calm person. Were you calm? Did you keep everyone else calm?
A little bit, but it was decisive that the players who shoot were calm and that they wanted to take this responsibility. They were cold as ice and they scored perfectly.
Cold as ice.
Fantastic. It was an incredible evening. But look, Eintracht Frankfurt will be the home of the final for the Europa League this season. Any travelling fans that are going to make the journey, if their teams make it, what can they expect? Why is watching football in that stadium so special?
Yeah, it's an absolute modern stadium, iconic for the roof also, and had a lot of Europa League nights, special Europa League nights, and I'm curious to see if the fan groups can be like as loud as the Eintracht fans.
Well, yeah, if they're doing that, they're doing something very well. Thank you very much to Seb to be with us today. You're going to be helping us to conduct today's UEFA Europa League draw. It is fast approaching. Before we get started, it is time to welcome to the stage. Please again put your hands together for the UEFA Deputy General Secretary, Giorgio Marchetti.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome as we approach the league phase draws of the UEFA Europa League and UEFA Conference League. Two competitions, one stage, and 72 clubs waiting to discover the magical European nights ahead. From the drama of last season emerged two wonderful stories. In the UEFA Europa League, Aston Villa wrote a remarkable new chapter in their history, lifting their first European trophy since 1982, while their coach Unai Emery sealed an unmatched fifth UEFA Europa League title. On the other side, the Crystal Palace went all the way in their first major European campaign, becoming the fifth different winner in 5 editions of this young and vibrant competition. And now that thrilling journey for clubs, players and fans begins again. As always, a special welcome and congratulations go to the clubs making their debut in UEFA competitions. This year, the list will be very, very long, so you will hopefully allow me to mention just a couple of special cases. Torreense, for example, coming from the Portuguese second division to win their domestic cup and then qualify for the UEFA Europa League. And the other case is Interclub Descaldes, who brought their country Andorra to this stage of a UEFA competition for the first time ever, making Andorra the 53rd UEFA national associations having experienced competition in a UEFA group or league stage. So the presence of these clubs here shows us the merits of open competitions, as of course if we needed to demonstrate it, as well as the ever-increasing fertility and unpredictability of European football. To everybody involved today, we wish you the very best of luck on the path that eventually leads to two great footballing cities, Frankfurt for the UEFA Europa League and Istanbul for its sister, the UEFA Conference League. Today's program now kicks off with the UEFA Europa League, and its 36 clubs are ready to learn the challenges awaiting them. But as usual, before we proceed with the draw, we have a short video that will explain to you the technical procedure.
Determine the 8 opponents for each team that they will face during the league phase. The following conditions apply to the draw. Teams from the same national association cannot be drawn against each other. Teams can face a maximum of 2 opponents from any one other national association. Furthermore, the UEFA Club Competitions Committee has decided that any individual fixture between 2 teams may not be repeated with the same home team for 3 consecutive seasons. The draw will be conducted using an automated software. When the draw is initiated by a push of the button, this software will draw a full set of opponents for all teams in one single procedure, including for each opponent, whether the match is played at home or away. The software will make a random allocation of opponents from all the valid options, respecting the conditions of the draw and ensuring that the draw can be continued to the end. Once the draw has been completed by the software, the results of the draw will be revealed, starting with the teams of Pot 1, to reveal each team's opponents and which matches are played at home or away. The reveal will then continue with pots 2, 3, and 4 in order, with the opponents from the pots not already known to be revealed. It is important to note that the display of ties is shown for the home and away ties by pot and does not represent the order of the matches of each team. The match calendar with the dates and kickoff times of the matches will be released at the latest on Sunday.
Time. A reminder, we'll press the big button once, or at least Sebastian will, to trigger the whole draw, and then we'll reveal those pot 1 matchups team by team. Giorgio, take us away.
Yes, thank you, Matt. And by pressing the button now, our machine will start drawing all the 44 fixtures that we will reveal step by step. So, Sebastian, it's now your turn. Press the button and trigger the machine. So, computer at work, calculating all the conditions of the draw, and as these machines are, of course, unbelievably fast, the draw is completed. We have the fixtures, and we can start revealing them one by one. We go with pot number 1, and in pot number 1, we reveal club by club, starting with the highest coefficient of this pot, which is Bayer Leverkusen, the winners of 1988, with the 21st participations in the competition, is more than any other German club. So, Sebastian, reveal the opponents of Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay, we are underway. So these are the 8 ties that Bayer Leverkusen will face from pot 1. They will face a home tie against the French side Marseille. They've got a double French opponent there. They will then travel away to Lyon. They'll be at home to Salzburg, away to GNK Dynamo. They'll be at home to Celje, away to Lech Poznan, at home to Besiktas, and away to Offi Crete.
Good. Double French opposition for Leverkusen in pot 1, and we move on to Benfica, sitting on more than 500 matches played in the European competitions. They are only 4th after 3 absolute giants, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern. And for Benfica, we can now reveal 8 opponents.
Yes, now under the guidance of Marco Silva, of course, back from the Premier League to take charge at Benfica. They now have their 8 opponents from their own pot, pot 1. AZ Alkmaar from the Netherlands and Milan from Serie A, their opponents home and away. Celtic will be a home tie, while the Czech side Victoria Pilsen will be an away trip for Benfica. Lech Poznan of Poland and Omonia from Cyprus, home and away in pot 3. And Offi Crete, the Greek side, and NEC from the Netherlands completes the story for Marco and Benfica.
Yes, and we are ready to move on to the next club, which is Juventus, the first European club to achieve 3 titles in this competition. So with Juventus, we know no opponents for the time being, so we will reveal 8.
Here we go. This is the 8 ties for Juventus they'll face in the league phase. They'll have a home tie against Spanish side Real Sociedad. They will then travel away to AZ Alkmaar. They'll be at home against Rennes, away in Budapest to Ferencváros. They'll be at home to Omonia. They will travel away to Celta. They will then be at home against Dutch side NEC. And they'll be away against Hapoel Beersheva.
And from Juventus on to another Italian giant, AC Milan, who in their rich cabinet don't have this trophy, so they will chase the UEFA Europa League trophy once again. And Milan know that they will play against Benfica and another 7 teams shown now.
Yeah, so former sporting coach, obviously Ruben Amorim, already knew about a trip or a game against Benfica. Now he knows the full story. He and Milan will take on Olympiacos from pot 1. That's an away trip to Piraeus, Ferencváros, and Salzburg from pot 2 for Milan. Sunderland and Bournemouth, so 2 Premier League opponents in pot 3, home and away. And Ararat Armenia from that part of Eastern Europe, and Levski Sofia, again in the east, are the pot 4 opponents for Milan.
Good. From Milan, we can proceed, and the next club to be revealed is Olympique Lyonnais. So the first place in the league phase of this competition last season for Olympique Lyonnais, drawn against Leverkusen, and who else? You will tell us.
Okay, there's 7 games that we needed to discover. Will be against Real Sociedad away. They'll be at home against Union Saint-Gilloise. They'll be away at Anderlecht as well, Belgium. At home to Crystal Palace, away to Jagiellonia. They'll be at home to Lillestrøm, and they'll be away in Germany to Hoffenheim.
Yes, from Olympique Lyonnais, we are ready to proceed again with AZ Alkmaar, a team which is unbeaten in their last 16 UEFA home matches. Alkmaar will have to take on Juventus and Benfica on top of these 6 more teams.
Yep, 6 more for Leroy Echterd and AZ Alkmaar in the north of Holland. They already knew about Glamour against Juve and Benfica. Now it's GNK Dinamo from Zagreb, but that will be a home tie. Sparta Praha then will be a trip to Czechia. Sturm Graz and Sunderland are the pot 3 teams for Alkmaar, and Hapoel Beersheva of Israel and Ararat Armenia on the road from pot 4 for AZ.
Yes, again, and now Olympiacos, another team with the same colors, the only Greek club having won a major UEFA trophy, UEFA Conference League and also the UEFA Youth League. In the same year, 2024, Sebastian revealed 7 opponents to Olympiacos after Milan.
Okay, so they have got from pot 1, they will go to France to face Marseille away. They'll be at home against Sparta Prague, away to Rennes. They'll be at home against Yalionia Bialystok. They'll be away to Celje, at home to Hoffenheim, and away to Torriense.
And the very Olympic challenge between Olympiacos and Olympique Marseille here. And after Marseille, we can proceed with Real Sociedad, the winners of Copa del Rey in the last season. Real Sociedad will take on Lyon and Juventus from pot 1.
Pellegrino Matarazzo doing a great job at La Real. Lyon and Juve, as Giorgio says, followed then from pots 2, 3 and 4 by Victoria Pilsen and Union Saint-Gilloise, home and away. Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, again 2 Premier League opponents for the team from San Sebastian. And then Torrense from Portugal and Lillestrøm, a trip to Norway in pot 4 for Real Sociedad.
And the last team left in the pot is Olympique de Marseille, 3 times finalists in this competition, which is a record for France. They've been drawn against Olympiacos and against Leverkusen so far.
So their final 6 games making up their league phase will be at home to Anderlecht. They will then travel to Scotland to face Celtic. They will then be at home against Celta, away to Sturm Graz, Austria. They will then be at home to Levski Skopje and away to Besiktas.
So there it is for the pot 1 teams. That is the full grid. That is the full set of fixtures. Some big games already coming out to former Champions League winners meeting as Milan play Benfica and Lyon at home to Leverkusen. A reminder, if needed, of course, that the grid shows the fixtures, but not yet the order of those games. The full fixture calendar will be released by Sunday.
Right, lots of great matches to look forward to already, but loads more to come. Let's move on to pot number 2, where 9 more teams are about to discover who they'll be playing in this season's league phase. Giorgio, who do we have, please?
Yes, who do we have here? We have the Hungarian champions of Ferencváros. We have Victoria Pilsen, which is the only unbeaten team in the league phase of last year. Union Saint-Gilloise, 5 times, successive times, including 1 Champions League last year. Dinamo Zagreb, then we have FC Salzburg, Celtic FC, AC Sparta Praha, Stade Rennais, and we close this spot with RSC Anderlecht, the winners of 1983. So by now, pressing the button, Sebastian will reveal the opponents of all these 9 teams.
Excellent pushing from Sebastian. And like that, the grid fills up. All of a sudden, all of these teams in pot 2 already had their pot 1 opponents. Now they have the full story. So, for instance, for the Belgian side, Union Saint-Gilloise now under David Hubert, they already knew about Sociedad and Lyon. It'll be Celtic and Victoria Pilsen for the Belgian side. Lech Poznan and Celta, home and away from pot 3. Hapoel Beersheva is a home tie, whilst the trip to Besiktas will, of course, host the Conference League final. That completes the story for Saint-Gilloise.
If we take the Austrian side, Salzburg, we knew that they would face Milan, Leverkusen, but we now know it'll be Sparta Praha, Anderlecht, Crystal Palace at home, Celje away, Ararat Armenia are an opponent at home, and Levski Sofia are away.
What about Rennes and Franck-Hez? They already knew about Olympiacos and Juve. Following that, GNK Dinamo from Zagreb will be a home tie. Sparta Praha will be a trip. Omonia Nicosia will be a home tie against the Cypriots. Sturm Graz again on the road for Rennes. And then Ofi Crete from Greece and NEC Nijmegen away is the full story for them. We are well on our way. As we've just discussed, Sebastian is getting better and better with that big button. The fixtures keep on coming. Let's get to pot 3. Giorgio, who lurks in that group?
Yes, and in pot 3 we start with Sturm Graz, then KKS Lech Poznan. We have then the English trio captained by the winners of the UEFA Conference League last year, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth and Sunderland. Then the Celje taking Slovenia back to the league phase of this competition after the season 2013-14 when Maribor was there. Then we have Jagiellonia Bialystok from Poland, Omonia FC from Cyprus, and finally Real Club Celta de Vigo from Spain. We can now reveal the remaining 4 opponents of these 9 teams.
Okay, just like that, the grid is filling up. We already knew the first 4 fixtures, so we are looking for the remaining 4 fixtures from pot 2 and 3. And there we go, the computer has made the draw. If we have a look at the first of those Premier League sides, Crystal Palace, we now know that their final 4 games will be a home tie against Lech Poznan. They'll be away at Jagiellonia. They will then be at home against German side Hoffenheim, and they have a trip to Turkey to face Besiktas.
Towards the bottom of the teams in pot 3 on the left of your grid, Omonia from Cyprus, led by Henning Berg, the former Manchester United and Blackburn defender. Again, they had half the story, now it's complete. They know they'll play Celta de Vigo at home and Celje away, quite a mouthful. Besiktas at home and NEC of the Netherlands away.
If we have a look at the Polish side, Jagiellonia, they will face, we knew they were facing Lyon, Olympiacos, Anderlecht and Victoria Pilsen, but they will have a home tie against Crystal Palace. They've got double Premier League opposition in facing Sunderland away. They'll be at home against Ararat Armenia, and they will play away to Levski Sofia. Right, we are nearly there, but there are still 9 more teams whose full fixture list is incomplete, and those are the teams in pot 4. Giorgio, who are our final 9?
Pot 4, we open pot 4 with Hoffenheim from Germany, then Besiktas JK, the host of last year Europa League and this year Conference League, and then Torreense, the team coming from the Portuguese second division, first time in Europe, Hapoel Beersheva, NEC from the oldest city in the Netherlands, Nijmegen. Offi Crete, we have Lillestrøm from Norway, Levski Sofia, and Ararat Armenia for the first time taking Armenia to the league phase of this UEFA Europa League. We can now press the button to complete the lineup of the 144 matches.
Thank you, Sebastian. Yes, 2 more opponents for all of these teams in pot 4, and here they come, piece by piece, game by game. So again, to pick out some of the highlights, perhaps those fixtures for Besiktas, now coached by Vincenzo Italiano, the former Fiorentina and Bologna manager, now based in Turkey. He already knew about 6 opponents. To complete the story for Besiktas, it is Hapoel Beersheva as a home tie, and they will travel to Germany to take on Hoffenheim.
If we have a look at Levski Sofia, their final 2 teams will be a home tie against Lillestrøm, and they will head to NEC from the Netherlands.
And the debutants then, Ararat Armenia, just 1 place below at the bottom left of the grid of pot 4. Again, they had 6, now they have 8. They know the full story includes a home tie against NEC of the Eredivisie, and they will take on the Portuguese Cup winners, another debutant in Torreense.
Lovely. So that's it. The draw for the UEFA Europa League has been made, and all 36 teams now know who they'll be facing and where they'll be travelling to in this season's league phase. A big thank you to you, Sebastian, for all your help and your excellent button pushing there. And of course, Giorgio, to you as well.
However, for everybody here and at home, wherever you're watching, don't move if you can, because the draw for the UEFA Conference League is coming right up. And before we get to that, time for some more music. So please, a warm welcome back to the Novello Orchestra.
Brilliant. Another great performance from the Novello Orchestra, conducted by David Mahoney.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, one and all. And welcome, one and all, to the UEFA Conference League draw, where 36 more teams are about to discover who they will play in the league phase of this year's competition.
Now, last season's UEFA Conference League saw 379 goals scored over 153 games. And at the end of it all, a first ever European trophy for Crystal Palace Football Club. Let's remind ourselves of how they did it.
The fifth edition of the UEFA Conference League is underway. Now Koita buries the drive. Gudmundsson! That is superb. From out of nothing. Majid Haji! Oh yes, that'll do! And buries it. Gono! That's
The Conference League has reached the knockout playoff stage. Great hit!
Oh, brilliantly swept in.
Saar, oh, brilliantly placed. Fagioli's follow-up! The UEFA Conference League round of 16 gets underway.
Parrott in the middle, finishes it brilliantly. Ishak with the header, and it's that man again.
Of Rayo, it's a great turn of speed.
Some tank penalty, he's found Barco, and Barco scores! The UEFA Conference League has reached the quarter-final stage. Ismail Assar puts Palace through to the semi-final.
A set-piece sensation.
Oh, Dean Henderson didn't even move. Ismail Assar on target again for Crystal Palace.
Welcome to Leipzig, where we have a beautiful reminder of the unpredictability of football. Crystal Palace and Rayo Vallecano. Oh, Mateta is there! Leipzig reverberates to the South London sound.
Quite the night for Crystal Palace and their supporters in Leipzig. And of course, all the teams involved in today's draw will hope to replicate their success and win this competition. The final is at Besiktas Park in Turkey on June the 2nd.
Certainly is. It is nearly time for today's league phase draw, but first we need to introduce our very special guest who'll be helping us out. He is a Besiktas legend who, during his time with the club, won 5 league titles, 3 Turkish Cups and 2 Turkish Super Cups, as well as representing his side at the very highest level in the UEFA Champions League. Please welcome Metin Tekin. Metin, thank you for being here. It was wonderful to have you with us at the draw. Now, you enjoyed a hugely successful spell with Besiktas and widely regarded as one of their greatest ever players. But what did representing the club, what did that mean to you?
Şöyle söyleyebilirim, çok içten söylüyorum onu söyleyeyim. Belki Beşiktaş en güçlü, en iyi, en zengin kulüp değil ama duygusu en yüksek kulüptür benim için. 62 yaşında benim hayatım Beşiktaş oldu. Sayenizde de her şey için teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Sanın Başkan da burada. Her şey için teşekkür etmek istiyorum Beşiktaş'a. Büyük Beşiktaş'a teşekkürlerimi sunuyorum.
Metin, as you can now gather, is obviously answering in Turkish, and with the wonders of Inia, you're going to now deliver.
Absolutely. He said that Besiktas, maybe it's not the biggest, but maybe it's not the best, but it absolutely has his heart. He has so much to thank the club for and thoroughly enjoyed playing there.
You've been a player.
Emotional.
You've been hiding that English. You've been a player and you've been a coach.
Yes.
You worked with Fatih Terim and the national team at the Euros.
Evet, yes.
Great times.
harika bir futbol macerasıydı. Very fantastic football adventure. I can speak English. Harika bir futbol macerasıydı. Fatih Terim'in liderliğinde. Hikayesi, draması çok güçlü. Belki ileride Türkiye umuyorum ve inanıyorum ki Türkiye Avrupa şampiyonu da olacak. Üçüncüsü değil, Avrupa şampiyonu da olacak. Ama hakikaten hikayesi bu kadar güçlü bir turnuva oynamak çok büyük keyifti. Hayatım herhalde en güzel teknik direktörlük anısıdır benim için. Harika bir deneyimdi.
Well, Metin explains that it was an incredibly emotional time, as you might imagine. Fantastic to work with Fatih Terim at Euro 2008, when awfully close, losing just to Germany in the semi-finals. And he hopes, as I'm sure all Turkey fans hope, that at one point in the future there might still be a
Just
day
one goals, last minute,
when Turkey could be
goal,
European
yes.
champions. Yeah, who knows? Fingers crossed for you.
That's football.
Well, thank you very much to Metin for joining us today. And we are almost ready to go. All we need to do now is have a quick look at today's draw.
For the purposes of the draw allocating whether each match will be played at home or away, pots 1 and 2, pots 3 and 4, and pots 5 and 6 are paired. And each team is drawn to play one opponent from each pairing of pots at home and the other away. The conditions for the draw are exactly the same as for the UEFA Europa League, in that the teams from the same national association may not be drawn against each other. The maximum number of opponents from any one other association that each team can face remains at 2. The UEFA Executive Committee has decided that teams from certain national associations cannot be drawn against each other, and there can be no repeat fixtures between the same teams with the same home team for 3 consecutive seasons. The procedure for the draw of the UEFA Conference League is almost the same as the UEFA Europa League, with the only difference being the automated software will randomly assign one opponent for each team from each pot, assigning that match as a match to be played at home or away, respecting the pairing of the pots. Once the draw has been completed by the software, the results will be revealed, starting with the teams of pot 1 to reveal the opponent from each pot, as well as whether that opponent will be played at home or away. The reveal will then continue with pots 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 in order, with the opponents from the pots not already known to be revealed. It is important to note that the display of ties is shown for the home and away ties by pot and does not represent the order of the matches of each team. The match calendar with the dates and kick-off times of the matches will be released at the latest.
Is how the draw works. We've now been joined by Giorgio, which can only mean one thing. We are almost ready to begin today's draw. As with the UEFA Europa League, we'll be pressing the button once to trigger the full set of fixtures, and then we'll be revealing the pot 1 games team by team. Giorgio, over to you.
Thank you very much, Becky, and that's exactly my request to Metin, to press the button to activate the computer who will draw the 108 fixtures of the UEFA Conference League. So please press the button.
Okay.
And
All right, first.
let's trigger the computer, yes.
Yep, as Giorgio explained with the Europa League, same here with the Conference League and Champions League yesterday. The computer will do its work now, and in short order, we'll sort out all those 100 plus fixtures for these 36 teams across the 6 groups, the 6 pots that divide them.
And the computer is much faster than you.
Always.
Matt, job done, draw done. And we start with pot 1, team after team. The highest coefficient of the UEFA Conference League of this year is Atalanta, which is the most recent winner from the Italian teams of UEFA club competition. They did it in 2024 with the UEFA Europa League. Please, Metin, press the button for Atalanta. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. The button has been pushed, and these are the 6 games that Atalanta will face. So from pot 1, they will face Ajax away. They will then be against Paphos at home. They'll be away to Bodats. They will then be at home to Kairat Almaty. From pot 5, they've got an away trip to Riga. And for pot 6, they will face the Swedish side, Mjällby, at home.
Yes, and from Atalanta, we are ready to go to Braga, the finalist of 2011 and semi-finalists of last season of the UEFA Europa League. So Braga is ready to learn 6 opponents.
Yep, the Portuguese team, coached by Carlos Vicente, a Spaniard, and here are their 6 opponents. From their own pot 1, it'll be an away trip to Copenhagen. They'll be at home to the Belgian side, Ghent, who've qualified this week, at home to the Finnish team of Koops, away at SK Brann in Norway. They'll also be on the road in Denmark to take on Aarhus, and they'll be at home to the debutants from Albania, Egnatia.
Yes, and from Braga, a great name of European football, AFC Ajax, 4-time winners of the UEFA European Cup and the Champions League. At Ajax, we'll already know already that they play Atalanta, and we know now the other 5.
Yeah, so that's a home tie against Atalanta. They will then be facing Midtjylland away, Getafe at home. Sint-Truiden will be an away trip for them. Hajduk Split will also be away, whilst they will face Thun at home.
Yes, and after Ajax, the finalists of the Europa League of last year come. It is SC Freiburg, and for SC Freiburg we need to reveal 6 opponents.
This is Julian Schuster's team, and here are their 6 from pot 1. It will be a trip here to the Principality to take on AS Monaco. They'll be at home to Panathinaikos of Greece, also at home against the Eredivisie team FC Twente. They will travel to northern Turkey to take on Mo Salah and Trabzonspor. That's an away tie. Jablonec then is a home tie for them, and Kauno Žalgiris of Lithuania will be a trip for the Bundesliga side Freiburg.
Yes, the next team is the host of this draw ceremony, AS Monaco, the team of the Principality. And for AS Monaco, we have Freiburg from pot 1. Please.
And this is what pots 2 to 6 look like. They will take a trip to face Brighton. They'll head to the Amex Stadium. They'll be at home against Lincoln Red Imps. They will take a trip to Scotland then to play Hearts. They'll be at home against Nordsjælland, and they will be away to CSKA Sofia.
That means that only one team is left in pot 1 to discover all opponents. That's FC Copenhagen for the 3rd time in this league phase of Conference League. They play Braga and another 5.
Here come their 5. Yeah, they already knew they'd be at home at the Parken Stadium to take on Braga. Crvena Zvezda, the team from Belgrade, will be an away trip for Copenhagen. They'll be at home to the Swiss team Lugano. They'll be in Romania to take on Universitat Craiova. Also a trip to Andorra, to the debutants Inter Escaldes, and then at home to Iberia Tbilisi of Georgia. That's the full 6 for Copenhagen. So a chance maybe to just take in the full grid for those pot 1 teams. Maybe the standout games include 4 times Champions League winners Ajax at home to Atalanta. That is one to wet your whistle. And last season's Europa League finalists Freiburg take on the Greek side Panathinaikos. Again, to emphasize, whilst the grid shows you all the games, it doesn't yet show you the order they'll be played. That full fixture calendar will be released by Sunday.
So the teams in pot 1 now know their league phase opponents, but there are still 5 pots to go. So let's move on to pot 2, where there are 6 more teams eager to find out who will they be playing. Giorgio, who are they, please?
Yes, we go ahead. Now we are in pot 2. In pot 2 we find FC Midtjylland, then Crvena Zvezda, the only Serbian club having won the European Cup in '91, KA Ghent from Belgium, Panathinaikos from Greece, Paphos, founded only in 2014 and already established in Europe, including Champions League last year, and finally Brighton and Hove Albion from England. They know one of their 6 opponents, and thanks to Metin, they will know the other 5.
Yes, and team by team, game by game, we fill the full grid for these pot 2 teams, and there you have it. Each of those teams down the left-hand side of the grid now know all of their opponents. They had a pot 1 team to face, now they know from their own pot and beyond. So for the Belgian side, Ghent, they already knew about a trip to Braga. It will be Crvena Zvezda at home for the team from Belgrade. Koops will be a trip to Finland. SK Brann will be a home tie against the Norwegians. Aarhus also, the Danish side, will travel to Ghent in the Low Countries, and FC Thun will be a trip to Switzerland.
If we highlight Brighton and Hove Albion just at the bottom of the grid there, just the second time in UEFA competition. We knew about Monaco at home. They will then take a trip to Panathinaikos. They will face Getafe away. They will be at home against Universitat Craiova. They will then be away to Jablonec, and they will have a home tie against Kauno Žalgiris.
So pots 1 and 2 done. Straight into pot 3 then, Giorgio. Who sits in this group?
Yes, pot 3 starts with FC Lugano, back to play in their finally new stadium after some years of exile. Then Getafe CF from Spain. We have Kups Kuopio from Finland. FC Twente from the Netherlands. Then Lincoln Red Imps, the team which took Gibraltar for the first time to European competitions already in 21-22. And finally, Borac from Bosnia and Herzegovina. They know 2, they need to know 4.
Okay, here we go. So pots 3 to 6 are now filling up the grid very nicely. There we have the ties. And maybe we should pick out Lincoln Red Imps here, because in very dramatic style, they got themselves into this draw with a 120th minute penalty winner. So congratulations to them. Their reward, these are their ties. Monaco away, Midtjylland at home, Twente at home. They'll face Bran away, Hajduk Split at home, and Ignatia away.
What about the Spanish side? Getafe, they already knew about pots 1 and 2. It'll be Lugano at home for the team from La Primera. Universitat Craiova will be a trip to Romania for the Spanish side. Inter Escaldes will be a home tie against the team from Andorra, and they will face the journey to Georgia to take on Iberia Tbilisi.
So the teams in pots 1 to 3 now know their opponents, and there are 3 more pots to go. So let's move on to pot number 4, where 6 more teams await their full sets of matches in the league phase. Giorgio, who are they?
Yes, we are halfway through this draw. We are in pot 4, where we find Sint-Truiden from Belgium at their debut in UEFA league phase. Then Brann from Norway, the Heart of Midlothian from Scotland, Kairat Almaty after a season in the UEFA Champions League from Kazakhstan, Trabzonspor with their new guest star player Mohamed Salah, and we have finally Universitatea Craiova from Romania. So we have to allocate or to reveal the 3 remaining opponents of these 6 teams. Metin,
and here they come for all of these 6 teams in pot 4. Again, as explained by Giorgio, they had half the story, and now it is complete. So for the team from Belgium in Sint-Truiden, the further 3 games they can now start to plan for, even though the calendar isn't yet set. It will be a home tie against the Norwegians of SK Brann. They will travel to Split in Croatia to take on Hajduk, and Iberia Tbilisi will be a home tie against the Georgians.
If we take Hearts from Scotland, their final 3 remaining fixtures will be Trabzonspor away in Turkey, Midtjylland at home, and Thun away.
24 of the 36 teams now have the full story in terms of opponents in the league phase. So let's start to fill in the gaps for our 6 teams in pot number 5. Who lurks there, Giorgio?
Yes, which starts with the champions of Latvia, Riga FC. Then we have Hajduk Split from Croatia, Jablonec from the Czech Republic. Then 2 Danish sides, Nordsjælland and the Danish champions of AGF Aarhus, champions for after 40 years in their country. And finally, Interclub d'Escaldes, the first Andorran club playing UEFA league phase. They need to know their 2 last opponents. Metin again.
Okay, here we go. These are the final 2 games that make up the pot 5 league phase. So if we take the team, Danish champions Aarhus, their final 2 games will be away to Inter Escaldes, and they will be at home against Ignatia.
What about Jablonec, the team from Czechia, who knocked out Rangers in dramatic fashion this midweek? They already had 4 opponents. Now they have the last 2. It will be a trip to Latvia to take on Riga, and it will be a home tie against the Georgians of Iberia Tbilisi.
Lovely. So 6 more teams now know who they'll be up against in this season's league phase. So let's finish the job by moving on to our final pot 6. Giorgio, which teams are in this one?
Only 6 matches to be revealed for these 6 teams. FC Thun, first time champions of Switzerland after 128 years of history. Then we have CSKA Sofia in Bulgaria. We have Kauno Žalgiris from Lithuania. Then Mjällby, also champions of Sweden, a very small town of 1,500 inhabitants, champions and cup winners of Sweden. Iberia Tbilisi, debut in the UEFA League phase, and also finally another debutant, Ignatia from Albania. So press the button for the last time, Metin. Thank you very much.
And here they come. From pot 6, they'll now draw each other, in effect, an opponent from their own pot for these 6 teams. So for FC Thun, the surprise Swiss champions, as explained by Giorgio, they now know, as well as the 5 they already knew about, it will be a trip to Bulgaria to take on CSKA Sofia.
If we have a look at the Swedish side, Mjällby, we now know that their final game in this league phase will be away against Iberia Tbilisi.
And just like that, we're done. That completes the draw for the league phase of this season's UEFA Conference League. A sincere thanks to Kula,
You're welcome.
more or less, to Metin, and of course, as always, thank you very much to Giorgio as well.
And that is it from us here in Monaco. The UEFA Conference League kicks off on Thursday, the 15th of October, with the final taking place on Wednesday, the 2nd of June at Besiktas Park in Istanbul.
All that remains is to wish good luck to all 36 teams who've made it this far. Thanks to everybody watching here in Monaco and around the world. Until next time from all of us, bye-bye.